Global IP Trust, Presence. The Wright Brothers. To fly through the skies like birds was one of mankind's greatest dreams. The ancient ones would look up at the skies and see the birds flapping their wings and exploring the world from up above. Humans were so fixated on achieving this goal that many people came forward to somehow design a device that could make us fly. In the end, it was a duo of brothers that finally achieved that dream of controlled powered flight. The brothers would become the pioneers of all modern airplanes. They were known as the Wright Brothers. The tale of the two brothers starts way back in 1867 in Indiana. Wilbur Wright was born on April 16, 1867, near Millville, Indiana. He was the middle child in a family of 5 children. His father, Milton Wright, was a bishop in the Church of the United Brethren in Christ. His mother was Susan Catherine Kerner. As a child, Wilbur's playmate was his younger brother, Orville Wright, who was born in 1871. Milton Wright's preaching took him on the road frequently, and he often brought back small toys for his children. In 1878, he brought back a small model helicopter for his boys. Made of cork, bamboo and paper and powered by a rubber band to twirl its blades, the model was based on a design by the French aeronautical pioneer, Alphonse Pénaud. Fascinated by the toy and its mechanics, Wilbur and Orville would develop a lifelong love of aeronautics and flying. Wilbur was a bright and studious child, and excelled in school. His personality was outgoing and robust, and he made plans to attend Yale University after high school. In the winter of 1885 to 1886, an accident changed the course of Wilbur's life. He was badly injured in an ice hockey game, when another player's stick hit him in the face. Though most of his injuries healed, the incident plunged Wilbur into a depression. He did not receive his high school diploma, canceled plans for college, and retreated to his family's home. Wilbur spent much of this period at home, reading books in his family's library, and caring for his ailing mother. Susan Kerner died in 1889 of tuberculosis. In 1889, the brothers started their own newspaper, the West Side News. Wilbur edited the paper, and Orville was the publisher. The brothers also shared a passion for bicycles, a new craze that was sweeping the country. In 1892, Wilbur and Orville opened a bike shop, and started fixing bicycles, and even selling their own designs. Always working on different mechanical projects, and keeping up with scientific research, the Wright brothers closely followed the research of German aviator, Otto Lilienthal. When Lilienthal died in a glider crash, the brothers decided to start their own experiments with flight. Determined to develop their own successful design, Wilbur and Orville headed to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, which known for its strong winds. The duo started testing their designs using gliders. They adopted the basic design of the Chinook herring biplane hang glider, which flew well in the 1896 experiments near Chicago and used aeronautical data on lift that Otto Lilienthal had published. The Wrights designed the wings with camber, a curvature of the top surface. The brothers did not discover this principle, but took advantage of it. Taking the calculations and results from his tests, Wilbur published research articles in the aeronautical journals. Gradually, they improved on their designs and made certain changes, with data from their previous flight tests. When they noticed that there wasn't enough lift power to compensate for the aerial drag coefficient, they decided that the propellers would need external power from an engine. In 1903, the brothers built the powered Wright Flyer, using their preferred material for construction, spruce, a strong and lightweight wood, and Pride of the West muslin for surface coverings. They also designed and carved their own wooden propellers, and had a purpose-built gasoline engine fabricated in their bicycle shop. They observed that birds angled their wings for balance and control, and tried to emulate this, developing a concept called wing warping. When they added a movable rudder, the Wright brothers found they had the magic formula. Finally, on December 17, 1903, they succeeded in flying the first free, controlled flight of a power-driven, heavier-than-air plane. Wilbur flew their plane for 59 seconds, over a distance of 852 feet, an extraordinary achievement. The Wright brothers soon found that their success was not appreciated by all. Many in the press, as well as fellow flight experts, were reluctant to believe the brothers' claims at all. As a result, Wilbur set out for Europe in 1908, where he hoped he would have more success convincing the public, and eventually hoped to selling airplanes. In France, Wilbur found a much more receptive audience. He made many public flights, and gave rides to officials, journalists, and statesmen. In 1909, Orville joined his brother in Europe, as did their younger sister Catherine. The Wrights became huge celebrities there, hosted by royals and heads of state, and constantly featured in the press. The Wrights began to sell their airplanes in Europe, before returning to the United States in 1909. The brothers became wealthy businessmen, filling contracts for airplanes, in Europe and the United States. Wilbur and Orville always took shared credit for their innovations, and maintained a close relationship throughout their lives. Behind the scenes, however, there was a division of labor. With his sharp instincts, Wilbur was the business mind and executive of the operation, serving as president of the Wright Company. The rest of their lives as businessmen and inventors had to face many challenges like patent wars and lawsuits. Later, Wilbur fell ill on a trip to Boston, in April 1912. He was diagnosed with typhoid fever, and died on May 30th, at his family home in Dayton, Ohio. Orville died at age 76, on January 30th, 1948, over 35 years after his brother, following his second heart attack, having lived from the horse and buggy age, to the dawn of supersonic flight. Both brothers are buried in the family plot at Woodland Cemetery, Dayton, Ohio. John T. Daniels, the Coast Guardsman who took their famous first flight photo, died the day after Orville. Milton Wright wrote about Wilbur in his diary, "A short life, full of consequences. An unfailing intellect, imperturbable temper, great self-reliance, and as great modesty, seeing the right clearly, pursuing it steadily, he lived and died." Orville expressed sadness in an interview years later about the death and destruction brought about by the bombers of World War II. "We dared to hope we had invented something that would bring lasting peace to the earth. But we were wrong. No, I don't have any regrets about my part in the invention of the airplane, though no one could deplore more than I do the destruction it has caused. I feel about the airplane much the same as I do in regard to fire. That is, I regret all the terrible damage caused by fire, but I think it is good for the human race that someone discovered how to start fires, and that we have learned how to put fire to thousands of important uses." The legacy of the Wright brothers is what helped make the world today as we know it. Today, more than a century ahead of mankind's first flight, we soar through incredible new heights every day. Airplanes today are faster than sound, bigger than spaceships, and safer than ever. However, the Wright brothers laid the foundations to the technology that helped bring this world closer to us. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do like, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.